Okay, so today we're going to talk about monoprinting and the jelly plate actually. So you're going to be needing quite a bit of tools. I'm going to show you kind of what you need. I know it seems like a lot, but honestly, it's not so bad. Cleanup is just kind of the hairy part, all right? So I'm going to go through the different tools that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to explain them and tell you what you need and what you don't need. Sorry for the bell. All right, so first thing is first is the jelly plate. So the jelly plate, when you get it, should come like this, okay? And you should return it like this. When you wash this, it takes very little effort to actually get this, washed. All you have to do is just add hot water, no soap please, just hot water, and I don't want you scrubbing this, just wipe it down with a sponge and it should be absolutely fine, okay? So when you get it, all you're going to do, you're going to peel off the one side. This is on there to help support it because it really is soft. Please don't squish it. It will break, okay? It's silicone. You break it, guess what? You're going to need to go and get me a new one, okay? So it's probably one of those tools that I'm like super careful you need to be with, all right? So you're going to leave the other side on the back so it's a little bit more sturdier this way, okay? Don't lose this. It needs to go back on. All right. So this is the jelly plate, okay? It is sticky just because of the material that it's made of, all right? Now I have 3 different sizes. For today, we're using the smallest size, okay? So that's that. Let's move that over. Next, you're gonna need something to imprint with. So that's gonna be a stencil of some sort. Oh, excuse me, not stencil. This is a stamp, okay? It doesn't really matter what kind of stamp that you do. You can have like a long one, you can have a short one. I have both here to show you examples of them, okay? So you just need one. I'm gonna put that there. Next, we're gonna be doing scraping onto this. We're gonna do sgraffito. So please have something to scrape with, okay? You can have one of these plastic things, or there's also popsicle sticks. It really doesn't matter which one you do, all right? So there's them. Now on the paper I talk about masking with a magazine. I have regular masks, okay? So what you can do is these are masks, okay? What is a mask? All right, so here's a stencil. See the spots that have been cut out? So the stencil part is the outside. The mask is actually the inside, okay? So I have actually cut out a few of these, created a whole bunch of these, okay? And you're gonna be just using one of them. My suggestion is pick something that is small, okay? Because it's gonna be going into a small space, all right? Don't be picking something huge, okay? Because I have examples for huge ones because sometimes people might wanna use it for a bigger project, okay? So, what's that? Plus, also, you want to make sure that they fit, okay? All right, so those are just the basic things that you're going to need. Oh, and you're going to need a stencil, too, okay? All right, so I'm going to move this stuff off to the side, okay? So those are the tools that you'll need. Next that you'll need is stuff to put the paint on, all right? So we're going to be using the bench hook and the brayer, all right? Remember that this gets hooked onto the side of the table. You will be using paint, all right? Now, just to let you know, these bottles are very sensitive, okay? What does that mean? You don't put a lot of pressure on them. You press very little, and it comes out a lot, okay? So don't go squeezing it, or you will be putting all that paint back in. For this, you have to have less is best, okay? There's no like if or ands or, oh, I'm gonna, just put a lot. No, that it doesn't work here. You put too much, you won't get a good print, okay? All right, you need brayer, and I would suggest also having a brush, because a brush actually is pretty cool to have as well, okay? So those are great. So those tools. Last but not least, paper towel. Nice, wet, damp paper towel. Notice it's not dripping, but these are great for if you want to try to help clean up as you're going through, to like wipe things off as you're going through. All right, so now we kind of know what we have. We have a lot of stuff. I would suggest that you definitely be in a wet area or one of the tables that is designed for wet materials, because this can get a little bit, wet. All right, onto our paper. You're going to need to be on to this side. It says monoprinting is a form of printmaking that lines or images can only be made once. All right, so once we print this, I can't make this one again. Each print is unique, hence the mono one printing, okay? Which allows for multiple originals. Please read through the tips. Yes, the jelly plate needs to be done with warm water, always keep the glass on, don't poke it, paint less is best, okay? All these things that we've kind of already gone over, okay? Oh, and last thing, totally forgot, okay? Your color combinations, all right? Just be aware that what we're going to be doing is we're actually layering colors, so you might want to think what would look really good, okay, on top of each other. If you want something to pop, don't go putting neighboring colors next to each other, like for example purple and red. You might not want to do. You might want to have something a little bit more contrasting, like purple and yellow, purple and orange, something that's going to pop out, okay? Or light and dark, contrast. Love contrast. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to learn how to actually roll paint on it, and we're going to do imprinting and sgraffito. So imprinting is going to be literally stamping on here, okay? And I'm going to have this because that's going to be super helpful to me. And sgraffito is going to be scraping. So let's go ahead and let's actually add some paint. So I added a little paint, okay? Oh, you can hear the brayer. All right. Kind of remind you of when we were doing the relief printing, okay? Now you'll probably see videos, possible videos out there where the person who's doing it will squirt right on here. That is fine, but the problem is ours has so much, okay? It comes out so fast. So I would rather you put the paint on another area and then kind of work this way, okay? All right, so we have that. So first thing we're gonna do is imprinting. Okay, so I'm going to imprint on this side. So imprinting is basically pressing a stamp in, taking it off. Okay, sgraffito is scratching it off. So I'm going to take this. Now because this is small, I'm going to actually flip this over. Okay, normally if this was much bigger, I would take this paper and put it on top, but I kind of have it small. All right, so that's kind of going there. Okay. Going to take this up, peel it up. All right, pretty cool, right? Yeah, and it should be pretty much dry when you actually do this. Makes it a lot easier from when you're actually doing things over it. Pretty neat, right, ladies and gentlemen? So we have imprinting on this side, all right? Because we imprinted it, what we're doing is removing the actual paint from it, okay? And sgraffito is when we're actually scratching things off. Pretty cool, right? Yep. And just to let you know, watch. See? I can easily, you know, help myself out cleaning by just wiping things off as we go through. All right, so that's that. Now, it says masking with a magazine. You can, all right, ladies and gentlemen, make your own masks. One of the ways that you can do it is actually cut out of a magazine. If you have like a person, you can cut something out and lay it down. Like, well, what does a mask look like? All right, so I'm going to use this. So a mask is basically something that's covering something, okay? So when I put this down, all right, go put some more ink on. Now notice this is very thin, okay? And when it's thin, that means it's going to dry very fast, okay? So you kind of want to work fast. All right, so I'm just going to place this down, okay? It's covering, all right? All right, beautiful. Flip it over. See? It covers that area. Now, one of the things you're like, well, why would I want this? Okay, so if I took this and I put this on top of here, this would expose a design that's underneath, all right, which is pretty cool, okay? So you would have like this area around here that might be solid, or you might do some printing on it, okay? And then you have the empty space in between, all right, which is really neat. All right, so I'm gonna take this off, and it's pretty neat, okay? So one of the things that I'm gonna do is I'm just going to print that off so that center spot's not there. All right, stenciling. All right, I like stenciling. So stenciling kind of has the same effect. What we're going to do is the stencil is kind of being a mask in a way, okay? It's going to cover some spaces. Now, just to let you know, do not print things like this if it's like alphabet. You have to flip it over because they actually print reversed, okay? I'm going to change up my color and add a little bit more excitement to this, okay? All right, so let's get a little bit more exciting. All right, I'm going to put some yellow on the bottom, some red on the top. Okay. Okay, so remember, reverse. So reverse. Here we go. We're going to put this on here. Now this I'm going to flip over. Here we are. And what you're going to do is you're going to kind of press into this. Okay. Pull it off. Da, 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 da. So cool, right? Now remember, this should be pretty much dry. Now on the back side, it said reverse. Well, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off, place this on. Remember, this side should be dry, okay? And you got the reverse. So cool, right? So I'm probably right about now going, is it possible for me to do multiple prints at the same time? Oh, sure. I've had students who will kind of have like one of the bigger pieces of paper, the, what is it called? The practice paper, whatever, and they'll work on maybe 4 of these at once and just kind of put different prints on them, okay? So cool, right? By the way, don't forget you gotta wash these too. Okay, so 2 layers. What does it look like when we have 2 layers, okay? All right, so 2 layers. Let's add on 1 layer and then we'll do another one. All right. So monoprinting, yes, can have multiple layers. So we're actually gonna do, what I want you to do is you're gonna actually take some of these techniques that you've already learned, okay? And I want you to make 2 layers. So I'm gonna do, sgraffito on 1 layer. Actually, I see that's kind of like loosening up. There we go. I need some more ink, people. More paint, excuse me. Just so you know, I'm using acrylic paint right now, okay? And you can use either one, doesn't really matter to me. So you may do this in however order you want, absolutely fine. So I'm gonna place that one down. All right, so I got sgraffito, very cool. Now I wanna do masking because I think that might be really cool. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more paint and I'm going to really make this look cool. So I'm going to add my paint on. Okay. And I want to do masking. I'm also going to do imprinting. Put this mask on top. Beautiful. Woo. Take this, put it over. So double layer, you want to make sure that 1 layer is definitely dry before you do the other layer too. Okay. All right, so let's pull this off. Ooh, kind of hard to see. Well, that's kind of bummer. I should have used maybe a darker color and then you'd be able to kind of see the outside of this a little bit more. All right, so last one, a ghosted stamping. Okay, so the ghost, as you already kind of might know, all right, is, you know, the reverse stenciling. Well, this is kind of in the same kind of category, okay? A ghost is the print that you can make after you've done any of these techniques, okay? What happens is you get bits and pieces off, okay? With this techniques, all right, I have seen many artists use stamping on top of this, okay? So if you ever want to just like say, oh, you know what, I just want to add some stamps on top of this as well. I've also seen people add stamps, which is pretty cool. Don't know how that hat goes with that, but yeah, I guess it's pretty cool. Okay. All right, so let's kind of quickly review, all right? And let's actually look at up some of these. I want to kind of explain them too, all right? All right, so first one was how to ink. We know that we need very little amount of ink, okay? By the way, if it ever gets too dry, you can actually take a little bit of the water bottles and just spray this and just hydrate just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. So we have Sgraffito imprinting. We have a mask, okay, and as we can kind of see from mine, you might want it to make sure that it is definitely contrasting from the back. That means definitely darker, okay? Or we have stenciling, where we take it and put it over it. We have reverse stenciling, all right? We have the layers. Now, this one doesn't look so hot, but believe it or not, they do look pretty cool, okay? And we have the ghost print. So if, let's say, you have some left over and you just want to place it on here, that's absolutely fine. Like if I was maybe making this to be blue and I wanted whatever left over, I could place it on there and it would have been a really cool print. Okay. Also, you are allowed to use stamping on top of these, which is, you know, I don't need to go into details because you guys have already gone over stamping. All right. What can you do with monoprints? That's the last thing. What do I do with this stuff? All right, you can, one, cut this out. You can make a couple of different ones and make a collage with this stuff, all right? You can make this be a background in a piece of artwork, okay? So what you would do is you could, you know, make your own design in the background, and it could be just like a design. It doesn't even have to relate to what you're doing. And then place things on top. Or it can just be solely just the print, okay? And I've had people where they've created their own kind of prints, unique prints, and that is the image, okay? All right, last but not least, cleanup. Warm water, warm magical water. That's what I have over there, okay? Remember, don't scrub this, just warm hot water, either one, wipe it down. Everything else needs to be wiped down. Yeah, it's a lot, but it doesn't take that long. Easiest thing to do is just rinse it off, put it on a paper towel, you know, and just kind of, you know, blot it off and just return everything, okay? Please don't leave anything in the sink. And that is it.